I don't care if it's pronounced Nier Automata. I don't speak Latin. If I want to make a Nier tomato soup, I will. You're powerless to stop me. Anyway, today we're talking about Nier Automata. I slammed this game open on a whim, having heard it recommended to me by multiple people before, and I had pretty high hopes. And honestly, they didn't live up to them. Because I had the wrong hopes! I expected a dark and gritty tale filled with gruesome bloodshed and teeth-grinding combat that would make me rage quit twice every hour. Instead, I'm greeted with a surprisingly lighthearted experience with lots of cute interactions and characters in a world that is a wonder to explore, mixed in with thought-provoking story that isn't afraid to completely flip the switch at any time, finalized by a satisfying combat system that makes you feel smart when you master it. If you hadn't guessed it already, this is the section of the video where I say the good things. Okay, let's get started! Several decades ago, in eras long past, I complained to my friends about open world games and the returning trend of this vile corruption, claiming closed level design and more streamlined planning creates a better experience. They then rebutted with the concept of a closed open world, one that wasn't massive for the sake of being massive, but rather was plentiful in size yet meaningful in execution. And I said, what the fuck are you on about? But that's what Nier is! I now get what they were on about! The world is seemingly huge, but each part of the map is thoroughly thought out, and it keeps you locked in without you even noticing. When I first got freedom of movement, I started exploring this area right here, touching grass and getting my ass beat by moose. My minimap clearly pointed me towards my location, but there's like a bridge here, like it's the wrong way, but it's there, I want to go on it, where does it go? So I keep going, my curiosity getting the better of me, and I find myself back where I faced the big robot in the intro. That's the place, that's where we did the fight! And on the ground, that's fucking me! That's my body! I Pearl Harbored myself and died, and now I'm absorbing my own body to get my ships and sword back. This fucking blew me away when I discovered it. And as I turned back around, I saw the abandoned factory where everything started, and a single question popped into my mind. How far back can I go? Driven by this burning need to know, I traveled, taking down robot after robot, retracing my steps, only to find I'm back in the fucking building! Look at that, I'm back to where I started! And there's nothing here! And that's fine! Because the fact that you're allowed to go all the way back here is already amazing. That's freedom! A freedom that I've missed! Video games have hit a stride where the game likes to take control away from you, especially during the first few hours, to make sure you're learning all the controls and playing the story right, blah blah blah. But think back to the old days! Think back to Ocarina of Time! You leave Kokiri Forest and you're on your fucking own! You can go anywhere, even if there's nothing you can do there yet. You can fuck around in Gerudo Valley, dip your toes into Lake Hylia, disturb graves in Kakariko Village. Freedom of adventure! Nier lets you explore and learn about your surroundings freely, but will keep you on track by barring off sections until the story wills it. I found this abandoned mall that was cool as fuck, fucked around a bit, couldn't do anything, and left. Later, Ballface here slams a hole in the safety panels and opens a path for you. Wowie zowie, that's a spicy meatball! But the world isn't just a space of geometry to mess with. There are so many side quest treasures to find, weapons to upgrade, ships to mess with. But most importantly, it has cute and quirky characters. I fucking love these robot designs, they're perfection. And they dress up! Fucking dadbot! Clown bots! Hey girl, my friends call me Birb, but you can call me anytime. I'm a sucker for cute things, and these things are adorable, goddammit. They're always just around doing weird shit, and it adds so much to the atmosphere and world building. Look at these dudes just vibing. And look at these party animals! Wake up motherfucking cowboys! And these fuckers are literally setting up Romeo and Juliet! Wait, that's not right.
This point doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm a big fan of the Mixolydian scale. And I'm also a fan of games that mix random shit together and make it work. And Nier Automata does just that. Oh, you like hack and slash action RPGs with deep customization and varied weapons? Boom! You wanna do some fucking Space Invaders pew pew bullshit? You got it! You wanna play fucking Symphony of the Night for the 16th time? Hell fucking yes! Nier isn't afraid to mess around, and oftentimes will have sections that rapidly change up what you're doing on the screen. Just the first boss you fight starts off on the ground with you dodging and slashing, and ends with you flying around in a mech going pew 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 in his face, Star Fox style. While exploring dungeons, the game loves to split you between third-person hack and slash and side-scrolling Metroidvania style, and will often seamlessly transition between the two, keeping you on your feet, dynamically changing up the flow of the level. But the important part is, and this is something a lot of games fuck up, the genre shift doesn't overstay its welcome. Sure, flying around in a mech and doing spinny spins is fun for a bit, but as most of the game is third-person hacky-slashy, that is what I've gotten accustomed to. I'm not fluent in Space Wars, I only dabble in it. But these sections usually aren't very long and also aren't brutally challenging. They last just long enough for you to appreciate the flow and the charm of it, but not long enough for you to get frustrated with it. They've struck a perfect balance between the main gameplay and the first sub-gameplay segments. I'm coining the term sub-gameplay, and that's as good a time as any to move on to the next section. Swing! Swing! Ka-chow! I like to swing at the sword. Sometimes I make things go boom. Sprinkle it up with some fisticuffs. Mindless violence is fun. It's a primal outlet for our pent-up frustrations and aggressions. Sometimes you just want to... Nier's combat is surprisingly intricate, with different combos mixing into each other, different weapon synergies, and a fucking ship system that makes every fan of game customization and optimization go,
I just think they're neat.
The basic melee combat provides you with a light attack and a heavy attack. These two can be mashed together for cool combo variety, the heavy attack can be charged, and you can do aerial combos and ground slams, and switching weapon types will give you a new moveset. But also, you can equip each weapon as either light attack or heavy attack, and thus expand on your moveset even further. And you can also get these pods that are flying pew-pew machines that you can equip with special attacks that make your enemies go boom. And on top of all that, you also have a dodge to time into enemies' attacks that can give you a kick-ass counter move that will fuck shit up. The ship system, as previously mentioned, is a customization feature that's super simple, yet intricate and fun. You take ship, plug it in, now you get that ability added. Weapon attack up, counter, healing off of murder, move fast as fuck, boy! You got limited storage of how many of these ships you can plug in that you have to adhere to, picking and choosing what will fit. Each ship has a corresponding number, telling you how many slots it will take up, and these ship numbers vary vastly in range. But as you find ships in the wild, you'll find them with lower and lower numbers, some even specialties, and you can fuse these together to create better ships at lower cost. If you enjoy grinding and optimizing stuff, this was made for you. And if you don't worry about it. Seriously, don't. These things drop constantly. I got all of these super cool ships on zero grinding just by playing the game and fusing what I found. It's all vibes. And even if you for some reason forgot that ships existed, this game also works with levels like any RPG, so you won't fall behind. But why would you pass up the chance to add 20% movement speed and zoom around the map like whoosh, going fast is fun? When it comes to bosses in video games, I have a single criteria that needs to be met. It needs to keep me engaged. That's it. Everything else after that is just added bonus. And it doesn't matter much how it engages me, as long as it keeps me in there. Whether it be a fight to the death with a demigod who will test your reaction speed and skill, a powerful villain who will have you using all the knowledge and strategy you've mastered throughout the game, or the final face-off against the enemy you've been chasing after the whole game that leads to a satisfying conclusion to your story. I could be fighting a literal white line, but if the lore behind the white line was that it had taken over my sister's body and corrupted her mind to turn her against me, I would be engaged in this battle to save my sister from the white line. Or it could be as simple as, wow, this is cool. And for most of the bosses in Nier Automata, that's it. They're cool as hell! The first boss in game is a massive Goliath rank machine that you have to take down. Look at you down there, you're tiny compared to this thing! And this boss in particular switches you between hacky slashy style combat and pew pew mecha flight combat, which keeps you on your toes and makes the fight flow dynamically. And you get to steal his arm and smack it into his head! Fuck yeah! And all the bosses in this game are a spectacle. You got a literal opera singing mech yeeting androids onto crosses. You got a fucking massive robits uppercutting another massive robits. You got a goddamn pipe on the ground! Fuck! The bosses aren't deeply intricate, but play around the core gameplay of hacky slash, and throw extra concepts and ideas at you to spice up the battles, making each fight feel unique and spicy. And they all feel extremely fitting within both the world and situation you're in, while still adhering to the story. Did we go to the next part? No? I'm trying to do a segue to talk about the story. Can you just cut to the next? The story of, wait, what, Waifu Alert? I wanted to segue into the story section. This is the wrong part. Fine, I'll roll with it. If you haven't played this game before, you still know 2B. Don't you fucking lie to me, I know what you do at night. And let's be real, she's waifu material. But the waifu I'm smitten by is gosh dang dead stare annoyed old type android A2. Those eyes hold the same depression as mine. And she's so goddamn snarky, I love her.
What the hell is that huge thing?
Unknown.
You're pretty useless, you know that?
She shows up to fight you and then leaves a fucking mystery. And you wonder, wow, who is this stoic mystery android? She's so cool and mysterious. And then you get to see her fucking bicker with a toaster and you realize she's got actual personality. I love her so much. The story is good. Okay, thank you. Tip yourself the door. I saved this one for last, but the story is definitely the best part of Nier. And I'm gonna do something I've never done before, a fucking skip timestamp. If you don't want to be spoiled on the story of Nier Automata and want to experience this game for yourself, skip to this timestamp. This is your only chance. I'm gonna count you down. 5, 4, 3, keep going, 2, 1. Okay, with that out of the way, the story of Nier Automata is split up into 3 parts. Kinda? I'm gonna try to leave most of the story and twists unspoiled still, but some major twists for the first part will be present. So without further ado, the main gist of the story is that at some point in the past, humans were totally vibing on Earth, then the aliens came and crashed the party, bringing all their annoying party bots, and the humans said, fuck this, and went to party on the moon. But they wanted their old party back, so they built a bunch of space robocops to kick all the aliens and party bots out, but when they got to the party, all the aliens were hiding somewhere, so now the robocops and the party bots are at war with each other to win back the right to party. The humans on the moon keep regular contact with the robocops, also called Yora, through transmissions that share them on and say, woohoo, please take back our party, I left my iPod in the living room. That's dumb. You start as this queen by the name of 2B, like to be or not to be, you get it? It's funny, it's Shakespeare. Who is a battle robocop, or an android as they call it, tasked to fuck the party bots up. She gets teamed up with tiny twin Kyle McCarley, also known as 9S, and their mission is to kill machines and gather intelligence on where the secret VIP alien party is. As they explore the ruined world, they learn that the machines have started acting irregularly, mimicking human thoughts and philosophies in a less than accurate manner, creating families, partying hard, even questioning their own existence. They also befriend some of these weirdos because robot friends are fun, and learn that some robots disconnect from the alien network and form their own way of machine life, rather than just following the orders to kill all enemies. While slaughtering a bunch of these weirdos, they go into panic mode and give birth to a fucking guy, who they then stab, and he gives birth to another guy. What? These dudes, taking on the names of Adam and Eve, are strange machine creations that seemingly mimic androids and humans much more closely than the other robotic beings in this world, able of advanced thought and deeper reflection upon themselves and the world. In a later encounter with Adam and Steve, it's revealed that the aliens are already dead, and the machine network has just been automatically running for all this time. And then a whole bunch of AI philosophy happens, and you start questioning existence and everything in the world and ponder, maybe I should make an AI girlfriend after all, Nier might be onto something. So you question reality up until the credits roll, and then the game goes, heyo, actually, this isn't the end, there's another route. So you get to play Route B, replaying the whole game as Twink Boy Kyle McCarley 9S! And as a story element, that's really fucking cool. You get to take part of sections that weren't in 2B's route and learn new information that she doesn't, as well as extended stuff at the end. Which leads into Route C! With my bay, A2! Applause, do the applause, come on now. And this route takes place after Route A and B, continuing the storyline. And honestly, this is pretty banger. There's an immense amount of archives and data to find that will give you extra lore and information, letting you clue things together as you go, and also further understand the plot at hand. And the story itself is an absolute beaut. Through your wacky interactions with the funny robots, there's an underlying philosophical ambience that colors the whole game, questioning the point of life, what humanity is, and the reason for even pushing on. The main story pushes you to question what's important right in front of you, while the side quests have you asking yourself what is important around you. It's a great dynamic, and despite the heavy nature of questions and reflections, the game feels almost comforting in its atmosphere. I think A2 said it best.
I never quite realized how beautiful this world is.
Yo, what up? I forgot to record this part. I'm in bed with this is the part where I said things down, like, about the game that are bad. Oh yeah, thank you.
Okay, we're kickstarting this shit with some more combat talk. As mentioned, the core gameplay when you're not switching around game genres is hack and slash. You click at the buttons, cool combos come out, violence is fun. And it doesn't need to be crazier than that. It doesn't need to be a Souls game where every hit has to be timed and countered perfectly. You can just slaughter and have fun, get all Devil May Cry up in this shit. But what really puts a ridiculous spin on the challenge of this game is this dodge move right here. At first I thought, oh cool, we have a dodge, we do have to actually time some attacks. Nah, you just click the button and win! The dodge window in this game is the most insane thing I've ever felt. You can just spam this button forever and never get hit. And that's not even mentioning the invincibility spam. The way this game functions, some enemies do long chain attacks, and if you dodge the first attack, you can spam the dodge button to get a dodge chain that continues until the enemy's attack ends. This is fine as a concept, especially in a hack and slash game. Enemies like to do long ass combos. But even just getting that first dodge requires little to no precise timing. You just start spamming dodge whenever you feel like it and voila, you're safe. The better choice would have been to tighten the initial dodge window, forcing you to actually read the enemy's attacks, and then let you enter infinite state of dodging to escape brutal lashings. And this shit is busted even on higher difficulties! This is a minor gripe, I admit that, but I'm usually not a fan of choosing your own difficulty in games. When making a game, a developer has a set experience in mind that they will design around, taking into account the maneuverability of the player, their access to offensive options, their willingness to kiss boys, but when making multiple difficulties, your game design choices get thrown into disarray. What might work perfectly and fairly in one difficulty might suddenly be horrendous in another difficulty, or something that's supposed to be pushing the envelope might end up feeling too easy. Or maybe you get stuck right between the two and can't get a perfect feel for what you want your game to be. When starting Nier, you're presented with a doozy of choices. Now, I can accept easy or whatever, it's for people who don't play games that much and just want to enjoy the story, I can get behind that, but the balancing gets wacky as you start moving up. Normal, as stated by the game, is the most pleasant experience. Possibly. The step up to hard disables lock-on, which feels like a weird choice, but alright, I already don't play with lock-on, and also raises enemy health and attack. Now, I don't mind a little challenge in games, but as mentioned, I'm not a masochist, so fuck it. Normal it is. After all, it's a new game I've never played before, I need to get a feel for it. And sure, I got a feel for it pretty quickly. The controls feel great, everything feels fluid and smooth. But it's a bit easy. Not only is dodging busted, but enemies don't hit very hard, and while most enemies can tank some damage as long as you don't overlevel, it's fairly easy, hack and slash to victory. But now I've gotten myself used to this game and normal is pretty lenient, let's give hard a spin. Jesus Christ, what the fuck is that damage? Fucking hell, you're a fucking grunt! I get wanting a challenge, but brother shield, this ain't Elden Ring! The leap from normal to hard is wild, and I'm even near endgame with some hella fused chips and high levels. This shit's brutal. And it doesn't feel fairly difficult either. It feels like, sup, you can get one shot now for fun, which just ruins the fun. Normal is too easy, hard is too brutal. It feels like there's a step in between that's missing. But in defense of the game, normal is stated to be the main experience the game is built for, and anything above that is for people who most likely have played Nier a lot and want to test themselves by turning that shit to 11 and letting it rip. But it still irks me, which means I'm scientifically correct, do not question me! Alright, listen, it's an RPG, I get it, we grind. But fuck any game that puts a scarcity of materials you need in shit little grind spots with low drop rates. Yeah dude, I fucking love farming for pure water drop grade my pods, 10% drop chance, sign me up! Oh yeah, elaborate gadgets too, good times! If you're even close to a completionist, this shit just drags the game on for no reason. Yes, it's optional, but couldn't you have given me a fucking higher chance than 10%? 0.25% drop chance for the Rod of Discord? What the fuck is your problem, Red? If you skip the story section to avoid spoilers, then whoops, minor spoilers ahead. Once you reach the end of the first route with 2B, you can start another one called Route B. In this one, you play as 9S, the little twink boy you've been hanging out with the whole game. And on this route, you replay the whole game. Yep, you heard me. The whole fucking game you just played! Do it again, but worse! Now this is a really cool story choice because you get to see things from 9S perspective and also learn new information that 2B never took part of. Seriously, it's super cool. But playing as 9S fucking sucks ass! Firstly, and true to his vocation, 9S is a scanner bot, not a combat bot. So his hack and slash style is slower and clunkier than 2B's. He also does not have heavy attacks, which is replaced with a hacking ability, which we will get to! This means half of your combat moveset is just gone. Now, playing as another character with a different playstyle isn't a terrible idea by itself. I've replayed Elden Ring many times with different builds and ideas. But this new route with 9S is technically a new game plus. You get to keep your levels, weapons, ships, everything. And you get thrown into this immediately after finishing 2B's route. Meaning you go from having mastered hack and slashing with this goddess in the battlefield, knowing her inside and out, accustomed to her speed and graceful display of battle prowess, to being nerfed for New Game Plus and forced to play through the same fucking game again, but weaker. It's the immediate contrast that fucks this up. In Symphony of the Night, you start the game with all of Alucard's cool gear that does loads of damage and is really cool. And then it's ripped from you almost immediately, giving you a taste of what you can become, but only for a short few minutes. In Nier Automata, you get to play as cool Alucard for 20 fucking hours, and then get it ripped out of your hands, forcing you to play with only half your attacks, replacing it with... I absolutely fucking despise hacking. I praise this game for mixing genres and throwing new stuff at you constantly, but this one they dropped the ball on. 9S is weaker than 2B, so to make up for it, he's got hacking, where he goes shwee and turns into a little spaceship that goes pew pew pew. You move with one joystick, aim with the other, and pew pew with your trigger button, just like the other shooty sections. The difference here is that no matter how or what you hack, you get 3 lives. If you get hit 3 times, you fail. And you don't get any special lasers, you can't heal, 3 hits, and you're out. And these controls fucking suck. They're fine when you're dealing with the other sections because you can shoot missiles, heal, do slashes, and enemies are very easy to hit. But when hacking, precision is the name of the game. You gotta aim that shit like a fucking pro while dodging all this fucking bullshit. If I wanted to play anime bullet hell shooter, I would play Touhou. Fuck off with this garbage.
Actually, you don't have to do that much hacking.
Yes, you do! Maybe not in Route B, but later on you sure got lots of hacking to do, and it absolutely sucks. And most combat with 9S takes so long because 9S is a weakling that you end up giving up and use hacking anyway because hacking deals so much damage. It's borderline broken against bosses because you deal heavy damage while also spending barely any time in the real fight where they can hit you with attacks. But it's so fucking boring! It's used interestingly within the story, but when you actually have to fucking do it, oh boy. Nier has this cool way of throwing events at you to kickstart story, and that in sarcasm. They blindside you with events you gotta deal with, and it adds a sense of urgency to the quest you're given. While these events are happening, you're unable to do side quests or roam around because your task is at hand, you gotta get on that. But this also happens with the end of the story. When I was doing my first playthrough as 2B, I was interspersing side quests here and there, and doing story quests when I felt my ADHD creeping up in me, wanting to switch up the pace and get more story. And so I do this one quest and oh fuck, well I guess I'm locked into the final bosses now and can't go back, oh and there goes the credits, well fuck. And yes, you do get to revisit the side quests on the other routes, all is not lost, but it still frustrated me as I had weapons I wanted to upgrade and quest progress I wanted to finish that had to be restarted. Like come on, how are you gonna tell me there's this whole new area, but if I enter it I get locked out of every fucking side quest I was doing? I got ADHD, of course I wanna play with a new shiny area, go fuck yourselves! Okay, I might be insane, but I haven't seen anyone talk about this. Why is the Gwyn theme in the overworld city music? Am I crazy? That's the plim plim plon right there! I'm sure it's just a sneaky little hint at Dark Souls, a quick tribute, but every time I hear it, it triggers me. Get out of my hack and slash, Gwyn! Despite a handful of shortcomings, I would absolutely recommend this to people. The vibe, the slashy slash, the world, the characters, the cute little robots, mwah. You get to hang out with cowboys, clowns, even Godzilla. It's just a good time. And as I beat the last route, I found myself going back and finishing up side quests I had missed, upgrading my weapons and pods, getting the Skirt Peep achievement, even going back and playing the first Nier. Holy shit, that's my boy! Them's my twins! Everything's a fucking reference! I've seen the light! Nier Automata is such a vibe, and that's coming from someone who isn't into sci-fi. My mainstay will always be in medieval fantasy, swords and magic, and I'm usually off-put by mechs and androids in space. But Nier has a sense of identity that feels so unique, unlike anything I've ever experienced. It's immersive, intriguing, but strangely welcoming, a world that is inviting you to explore it, to take part of all that it has to offer, where despite all the threats and danger, you can't help but feel a sense of peace. You're met with desolate ruins, remnants of civilization, destruction, and demise. And yet, there's but one lingering thought inside your mind. This world is quite beautiful, isn't it? Bye.